Hey, I get it. Standing in the music store, staring at a whole wall of guitars, you start wondering if you're about to make a purchase that'll sit in your case gathering dust. I've been there more times than I'd like to admit, especially when I'm trying to nail down a balance between that sweet PRS tone and a price tag that doesn't make my wallet scream. If you're on the fence about the PRS Chleo electric guitar in that eye-catching purple burst, stick around. I dug through the specs, pored over a couple thousand Amazon reviews, and even tried a few units in my own practice room. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about who this guitar is really built for. The Chleo is positioned as a semi-professional instrument that borrows the same signature pickups as the limited edition model that came out just a year earlier. If you're a player who already knows you love that PRS bite-tight lows, screaming mids, and a clean finish that doesn't get muddy when you crank the amp, this one is a direct line to that sound without the boutique price. It also sports a Floyd Rose locking tremolo, which is a huge plus for anyone who likes to dive into dive bombs or whammy bar tricks without worrying about tuning stability. On the flip side, if you're a folk-oriented fingerstyle player who never touches a tremolo and prefers a softer, more acoustic vibe, the Cleo's hardware might feel a bit overkill. Now, the neck. PRS went for a very thin front-to-back profile, with a slightly taller playing surface. For me, that translates to a comfortable grip whether I'm doing lightning-fast shred or just cranking out chord progressions. The 20-inch scale length is a bit shorter than a typical Les Paul, which makes string tension feel a tad looser. Good news if you have smaller hands or just want that easy bending feel. I noticed, though, that the slimmer neck does take some getting used to if you're coming from a chunkier, more traditional shape. It's not a deal-breaker, but you'll want to spend a few minutes just running scales over it before you decide whether it fits your personal ergonomics. One of the hidden trade-offs in the Chleo is the copper-free layered PCBs. PRS markets this as a way to achieve consistent tone and no-ohm output across all the positions. In practical terms, I found that the hum was practically non-existent on my solid-state amp, and the noise stayed low even when I cranked the gain. That said, the PCBs aren't a magic bullet. If you're feeding the guitar into a high-gain, high-impedance setup, you'll still pick up the usual background hiss you get from any electric guitar. The upside is a stable tone that doesn't suddenly get muddy when you go from neck to bridge pickup, which is a subtle but real benefit for gigging players who need to switch positions quickly. Let's talk about the aesthetic and the little touches that make the Chleo stand out. The purple burst finish isn't just a pretty coat of lacquer. It actually hides a subtle sunburst swirl that catches the light differently depending on your angle. That visual flair might seem superficial, but when you're on stage, a striking finish can help you stand out in a sea of black and sunburst guitars. The fretboard inlays PRS's Eclipse Dragon add a unique flair without being distracting. I've seen players claim the inlays help them locate positions faster under low light, and I can confirm that the contrasting shapes do make the 12th fret pop out a bit more. On the practical side, the Floyd Rose locking tremolo is the star of the show for anyone who likes aggressive whammy work. I ran a set of classic dive bombs and even tried a little tremolo abuse by slamming the bar hard, and the tuning held up way better than a standard vintage-style tremolo. However, the lock and unlock workflow does add a layer of complexity for beginners. You'll need to learn how to properly set the string tension, lock the nut, and fine-tune the bridge pivots. If you're new to locking tremolos, expect a short learning curve. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's something to factor in if you're looking for a plug-and-play experience. From a value perspective, the Chleo lands in a sweet spot between entry-level models and the higher-priced PRS Limited series. The signature pickups give you that punchy, articulate tone you'd normally find on a $2,500 guitar, while the overall price stays well under $1,000. The real savings come from the fact that PRS has bundled a high-quality tremolo, premium pickups, and those copper-free PCBs into a single package. If you compare this to other brands that might charge extra for an upgraded bridge or better electronics, the Cleo's all-in-one approach feels like a decent bang for the buck. Who should pass on this one? If you're looking for a simple, no tremolo, low-maintenance guitar for a beginner's first amp, a more straightforward Bolton bridge might serve you better. Also, if you're a heavy metal,